It's Super Bowl time for this guy.
Good morning. Yeah, it's great to be here.
Hardin County Clerk Brian Smith. Tell them what your Super Bowl is, Brian.
It's the presidential general election. This is a big event. We elect a new president every 4 years.
It's a big event.
It's a big event, and we've been working all year on this.
Yes.
We have a primary in May, but the work on November begins even before the primary is over.
So November 14th, right?
No, it's Tuesday, November 5th. Tuesday. We just had this.
Edit that out. We just had this conversation. I'm sorry. Okay. So here we go.
All right.
So what is Election Day?
Tuesday, November 5th is General Election Day.
Okay.
But here in Kentucky, we do have early voting. So there are 3 days of early voting, no excuse needed. Starts on Halloween.
Oh.
So I don't know whether that's indicative of the presidential race or not, but October 31st, that Thursday.
That's a funsie.
Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday before the election. So
Do they have to come in physically to vote on those
we
days?
We do. We
Okay.
have early voting at Colvin Community Center in Radcliffe to cover the northern part of the county,
Gotcha.
and at the Hardin County Clerk's office on Provident Way to cover the southern part of the county. 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on those days, and it's just super easy. Just bring your voter ID, or your driver's license, or other government-issued ID, and we'll take care of you.
And hand it to those fabulous volunteers.
Our amazing poll workers.
Yes.
We'll be deploying over 200 poll workers across the county to help with this election, and they're wonderful. They get up super early. They pack their coffee with them and pack their lunch. And work very long days for us for not a whole lot of money.
So be kind to them, folks.
Yes, be thankful and appreciative. Tell them
Yes.
that you love them. Tell them that you're thankful for them. If you want to drop off a box of donuts for them, there's no prohibition against that as long as you're not a candidate. Candidates can't do that.
Aw.
But
That'd be a good idea, though.
everyday
Yeah.
citizens can do that.
Sure.
We've really been working on this since the beginning of the year. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of preparation to pull off an election. We suspect there'll be over 50,000 voters in Hardin County by the time it's all said and done.
Have you seen, since you've been involved in the process, have you seen the numbers? I know this is the first presidential, but have you seen those numbers steadily grow?
So Hardin County, you've heard me say this before, votes below average, below state average. That's not something that we should be proud of. It's something we should be working
because we're
to
above average
change.
in everything
We
else.
are. We are a
Truly.
fabulous county. This is a great
Yes.
place to live and work. So we have seen the trend move a little bit. The needle's moving a little bit in a better direction, but it's a small movement, so I'm not waving a victory flag yet.
Sure, but with this being the presidential...
This is going to be huge.
Yeah,
There's a lot of interest in it, obviously. But there are other things on the ballot as well that would love to share, folks. It does certainly matter who's in the White House, and people have strong feelings about that.
Truly.
This is their opportunity to express that and make sure their vote is counted.
That's what I tell folks when they try and pull me into a political conversation. I always say, and I know this is not you, you're a political guy, but for me, I don't share my opinions in the public. I share my opinions at the polls.
That's a great,
and
I think a lot of folks feel that way. Actually, as clerk, I'm the referee on election day, so I don't express my feelings publicly either. I don't publicly endorse candidates or issues that
But
are
you're knowledgeable. I'm just not knowledgeable enough to carry on an intelligent conversation.
Well,
about
I think you're selling yourself short, but you know, there's a lot going on, and everybody has issues that impact them differently.
Yes.
And so this is a great opportunity. And so, but I will tell folks, if you live in one of our incorporated cities, our city council members are up for re-election this time too. So,
We've seen the signs.
yeah. So we see it's at election season. The signs are popping up all over the county. We encourage folks to research who's on the ballot and be prepared on election day.
And
this
I
is
have
going to
found
be
a lot. I am friends with a lot of the folks running for city council, so it's hard to not just vote for them because I like them as a person. It's important to know what they represent and what they believe in to help in our community. That's a challenge.
I think being informed is your best bet on election day. It is a presidential election, so the lines are going to be longer than they were last year. There's going to be a lot more people voting, but we've added additional check-in stations. We've added additional polling locations.
I didn't think you could do that. You did so well last time.
Well, we're really leaning in on this. But what slows us down on election day isn't getting people checked in generally.
Okay.
It's the long ballot. There are, depending on where you live in this county, 1 or 2 cannabis questions that are going to be on the ballot about medical cannabis. There are also 2 constitutional questions that to amend our state constitution that will appear on the ballot. Those are pretty long reads.
Right.
It takes a while just to read through that. So we encourage people to go to our website, HCEC-TV.org. That's the county clerk's website. You can find the sample ballot. You can also visit govote.ky.gov. You can find your sample ballot there. Read that ballot ahead of time.
Truly.
And so know what you'll be voting on before you step in the booth, and that's going to be a whole lot faster for you.
Absolutely, and get to know your candidates in advance.
Absolutely.
And I could be speaking out of turn here, but quite often the news enterprise, for the folks who aren't comfortable knocking around online, they often
We do.
Will they be doing that at the news
So
enterprise?
yes, it's required by law. So we submit that to the news enterprise, and that will be published in the news
Perfect.
enterprise before the election.
Yeah,
So
some people just like to see it, feel it, touch
absolutely.
it. You know? Yeah.
I'm sort of that way myself. I read easier that way. So we appreciate our media partners in working with that. We
Yes.
also have other media partners that are going to help spread the word. Our local radio stations are doing a great job of sharing information about the upcoming election
Sure,
as well.
they love that. They love putting that information
Yes.
out, and our local studios are fabulous.
They do a great job.
About communicating all of that. So how many machines do you have this time?
So that's a good question. I don't have that number off the top of my head.
Sure.
But there's going to be enough coverage to get everybody checked in. Mentioning the machines is a great thing to talk about. We get asked all the time, do you trust the equipment you use? Do you trust it inherently? I don't inherently trust anything.
Right.
So when I became clerk, one of the first things I did is I took our election equipment, the same ones you'll be using on election day. We went to Morningside Elementary School, and we had second graders vote on the machines. We've actually done this in several other schools since.
Right.
But we used real ballots. The only difference is we changed the names from politicians to superheroes, because second graders all know who Wonder Woman and the Hulk are. They don't
Absolutely.
necessarily know who Brian Smith and John Ward are. So they voted, and we did a hand tabulation, and so we were able to confirm that the machine read the ballots accurately and provide accurate results. None of that equipment is attached to the internet, so it's not
That's a big
hackable.
deal.
It can't be. Nothing can be changed from the time you mark your ballot to the time it's counted, and so we feel very confident in the way we run elections here in Hardin County and in across Kentucky. I really feel that my counterparts. Every county has someone elected by the people, just like me, to perform the duties of county clerk, including the running
Do
of
you all
elections.
get together afterwards and commiserate?
There is, yes.
I just assumed there would be.
So there's a Kentucky County Clerks Association.
Yeah.
That is our training association and advocacy organization. County clerks are required to do 40 hours of training a year.
Wow.
I've exceeded that number every year that I've
No
been
doubt.
clerk. For me, it's important to know the latest. The legislature every year does some tweaking to our laws, so it's important for us to be up to date on what the law says and make sure that we're following that on election day. But we're in the period from now through October 22nd. For those who can't physically come to the polling locations, they
Okay.
can request their absentee ballots.
Would that be due to physical
So
impairments or away?
It's both.
Oh,
It's
okay.
both. So if you're traveling, if you're a student away at college, if you are military serving overseas, the easiest way to get your ballot is to go to govote.ky.gov. That's sort of a universal one-stop website. You can request your absentee ballot. When you request them, we mail them out the next day. You can also call our election office at 765-6762, and our friendly staff will be able to help you process
are
that.
awesome.
It might be my voice on the phone. Sometimes we get that phone goes pretty busy.
You're a man in the trenches.
So issuing ballots is a fun and exciting thing.
Sure.
When you get your ballot, there's an instruction sheet on it. Make sure you follow every step in that, and then you return the ballot. One of the things that's always heartbreaking to us on Election Day, because we cannot count absentee ballots until every poll is closed on November 5th. So what's heartbreaking for us is when someone has missed a piece of their absentee ballot and
After
their
all
vote,
that
their vote
trouble.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
You have to sign your own ballot unless you're physically unable to sign. Then you have to request voter assistance, and that process is explained to you on that instruction sheet. So those are already going out in the mail. We've already had some
Wow.
of those returned.
Okay.
Once they're returned, they're held secure until we can open them for
You
counting.
get a lot of those back?
We do,
Yeah?
and we get probably about 75% of the people who request absentee ballots return them. Those other 25% probably just set it aside and forgot about it.
Right.
That's always heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But that absentee ballot must be in the clerk's office by 6 p.m. on election day. If it's 1 minute past that, we cannot accept it. You cannot turn it into a polling location. It must be turned into the clerk's office. We have secure bins, drop boxes out there. You can slide that in there and know that your ballot has been counted, or you can mail it back to us.
Wonderful.
Whichever is easiest for you. We love it when people hand return their absentee ballots. Mail service is a great partner for us, but it's out of our control.
Things happen.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I'm sure you encourage people to do things online when
That's right.
as often as possible.
That's right.
Or physically there.
Physically, you can also come by our office. We've had a steady stream of folks. There's also a secondary absentee process that not a lot of people know about. I've been really trying to push this as county clerk because when you're transferring things to the mail, some people just don't feel comfortable with that. So this has been on the books for many years. There are 6 days of what we call excused absentee voting. So it's the same process, only you do it in person.
Oh.
So those dates are October 23rd, 24th, and 25th, and October 28th, 29th, and 30th. So
Okay.
6 days you can come in. These are folks who have trouble standing in line. Maybe they have other mobility impairments.
Sure.
We also have a machine set up for the visually impaired. So you can
Wow.
vote. You can vote independent. Now you can always request voter assistance if you need help. That you can designate your spouse or some other trusted person to do it. Or if you're at the polling location, we will assign 2 poll workers of opposite parties to assist you. But if you want to vote independently, we have it's called a duo machine. It's a very expensive machine, but all it does is mark your ballot.
Right.
Think of it as a giant ink pen.
Yeah.
And it will read the ballot to you, so you can hear it, and then you use a controller that's like the old Super Mario Brothers Nintendo
right.
machine.
Now I'm hearing that in my head. Good
and
job.
So it will read the ballot.
Yeah.
But we really encourage those folks who are hesitant about voting because of any physical
Sure.
limitation.
There are no
Come in.
excuses now.
The law allows you to use your age, any illness or disability. If you're pregnant in your 3rd trimester, I always tell people babies are going to come when babies come. I have
Right.
4 children. None of them were born on their due date. So so come in early. You don't need to bring a doctor's note or anything
Yeah.
like that. You attest to your limitations there.
Sure.
We have you sign a quick form, and then you get a ballot, and it's the same process for you during those 6 days as it is during election days.
And everyone's vote counts.
Everybody's vote counts.
You mentioned the 2nd graders practicing, testing the machines. I know in the past my children have been very proud to take my grandchildren to vote. Is that something that you all will be doing this
So
year?
we will not.
Okay.
We don't have kids voting this year. It's
Okay.
something we really want to implement. It's something I really wanted to get done before the presidential year. We just, with all the other deadlines we had to meet,
I can't
we couldn't do
imagine
it.
what else you have to do, Brian.
But I will tell you, we have been in area schools and we've been doing this.
Yeah.
We assisted with the student council election at J.T. Alton Middle School as well as Bluegrass Middle School. We also took our machines back to Morningside. We went to the 4th graders fifth. Did we go to 5th grade, 4th grade, or 5th grade?
One of those.
One of these kids.
One of these kids.
And we rolled the machines in. We let the kids vote on them.
I bet the looks on their faces.
And the kids had so much fun. They take so much pride in their I voted sticker because they got their I voted sticker. Absolutely. That's. I will tell you, if someone neglects to get their I voted sticker, we will have plenty of I voted stickers. We'll have plenty of ballots and plenty of I voted stickers
Awesome.
for you.
How many stickers do you think you have on hand?
We've
and
got
thousands.
yes, we've got tens of thousands
Yes.
of them, and so we'll make sure everybody gets one.
Right.
We'll have plenty of supplies for our election officers. So it's an exciting time.
It's a big deal. I know it's silly, really, when we say it out loud about the sticker, but it really is a big deal.
It is funny.
I love mine.
But I'm reminded of when Afghanistan was initially freed, and the folks had to dye their finger to prove they voted. And that was their version of the I voted sticker, and they held them up with great pride. There are other countries that use that
Right.
as proof that that person's already voted, so they can't vote twice. And it's such an important and universal thing. And when you look around the world at global events that you and I can't control, we have no say-so over, and we see people don't have a choice in the government that leads them. This is an opportunity for us to have our voice, and so many people have sacrificed so that your vote and my vote are equal
Truly.
on Election Day.
Truly, the word opportunity speaks volumes there.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I've seen, during an election, regardless of the level, people wear those little stickers with pride, and they take selfies, and they put it on Facebook. You see the very stoic, polished, suited men, in Kroger or wherever, and they've got theirs on.
Absolutely.
Something about the election, regardless of which side of you stand on, brings everybody together.
I think so. I think we're all supportive. It's one of the things in the clerk's office. I want everybody to show up to vote.
Sure.
There are folks who are going to show up on Election Day that vote very differently than I do. That's okay.
Yes.
That's the system, and may the candidate with the most votes win,
Yes.
and let's all get behind that person and support our country and our local community.
I know, we go back a little ways.
We do. We're good friends.
Yes, and before you were county clerk, I know that you used to assist people in getting to the polls.
I did. That was always a lot of fun on
I
Election
can't
Day.
imagine that you'd have time to do that
So
on that day.
I will not be doing it personally.
Right.
There are some organizations that have reached out to us. So there is some of the sororities and fraternities in our local community are going to be providing rides, and then there are usually volunteers from each political party that will also be giving rides. So the best way for folks to find out how to get a ride on Election Day, just call our office,
Okay.
and we'll give you the names of the people who have volunteered to get a ride to the polls. I've always enjoyed it. It's just...
I know you were always
it was
excited
always something.
about it.
That's the one thing I miss. I don't get to be a part of, and maybe I'll be able to do that after I retire.
Yeah, I would love to volunteer. Maybe I can. I'll have to look at my work calendar that day. I'd love to do it. But I can't imagine, is there any way I could ask for everyone in my vehicle to be of the same party so that we don't have any arguing? not necessarily my party, but just their same party. Did you ever have any issues with that?
No,
Okay, good.
I just kind of treated it like an Uber ride. I was just quiet and let the
Did you have the mints and the bottled water?
I didn't go that far. I did it during the pandemic, so I did have Clorox wipes, and I fully wiped out my car afterwards,
Wow,
just
I bet.
everybody felt comfortable.
How's that for passion?
The good thing is, nobody got sick from the election. Both the governor and the secretary of state kind of looked at that afterwards and said, we carried off an election during that time.
That's amazing.
One of the things that I think is great is we're getting more locations out closer to people. So we have 15 locations. One thing that people ask, they say, well, where am I supposed to vote? Wherever you want.
That's a big deal.
These polling centers are universal, so you go within your county, but you can go to any of the ones that are most convenient for you. Some people, they live in one part of the county and work in another part of the county, or maybe they want to pick up an elderly relative that they don't live in the same precinct.
Right. Or just vote close to your favorite coffee shop.
Yep, absolutely.
Whatever,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we have done our best to expand those locations. Would I love to have a few more? I would. One of the things that is always a challenge to us is meeting the ADA compliance. We have to make sure that our polling locations are fully accessible to everybody, because the election is for everybody.
Sure.
And there are federal and state standards that are higher than your standard ADA. So our city and county school buildings are the ones that we use the most. And so I just want to give a shout out to them, appreciation for the school being a great partner and letting us use their facilities. And they have, and the poor staff member who has to meet us at 5 a.m. on that day and make sure everything's unlocked, and then at the end of the day make sure everything's locked up.
Well, hopefully they see it as an opportunity to be a part of the process.
Absolutely.
What a huge, important part of the process, unlocking the door.
It really is.
It really is.
We couldn't have can't have the election outside.
I hope they know how valued they are.
So
That's huge.
we definitely appreciate them. Give a shout out to our jailer, Big Josh Lindblom. He and his team help us deliver equipment.
Right.
All of the equipment has to be delivered, and that's a lot, to 15 locations from the southern part of the county all the way up to West Point, and make sure all of that's in place and secure. And then we got to pick it up the next day.
Right.
So the election doesn't stop after the results are public. There are several things we have to do after the election as well.
So we talked about, and I'm just curious, I pinned this in the back of my mind, you talked about the absentee ballots and that those cannot be counted. So once the polls are shut down, we're all just at home, waiting. Is that part of what the wait is?
Part of the wait is that. Part of the wait is also the results from each location have to be driven in. They're hand delivered. And in that vehicle has to be 2 people of opposite parties. So they usually coordinate that together. And so, we're the 4th largest county by area in Kentucky.
Probably
driving from West Point all the way to the clerk's office where we have Command Central on election day.
As Mayor Cerisi says, West Point's in Hardin
West Point
County.
is part of Hardin County.
He
And they're
is
an
a
important
fun guy.
They're
He's
an important part of
They
Hardin
are.
County. We expect actually West Point to have a really high turnout. They have 21 candidates for city council on the ballot.
Gosh.
So about 3% of the registered voters in West Point are on the ballot. So
That's gonna
West
be
Point,
fun.
this is your turn to shine.
It is, and I can see why everyone would want those positions because West Point has just blossomed.
It's a wonderful community. It's a beautiful historic community.
It is.
If you've never been to the West Point History Museum, I encourage you to do so. You learn a lot about the history, not only of West Point, but of Hardin County and the whole part of Kentucky. And why West Point is there. Why is it there? Well, it was a major stop along the railroad and the river.
It's definitely a crossroads, definitely. So you said how many different locations now?
So there are 15 locations, and election day is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We cannot issue a ballot until 6 a.m. If you want to line up early, there are always folks that do. You're welcome to do that. If you want to get it done before you head to work, that's great. We love that. If you are in line at 6 p.m., we'll stay open for you no matter how long that line takes to go through the line. So yes, get in line by 6 p.m. At 6 o'clock. One of the sheriffs, and not badge and gun sheriffs, but one of the poll workers will get to the end of the line, and they'll make sure nobody else gets in line afterwards.
Yeah, we don't want any fisticuffs out there. Y'all get there before 6.
Yes, so get there on time. We always have people screeching into the parking lot
coming in
at
after
5:58, and we understand that. That's why the 3 days of early voting are really important. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, go ahead and bank your vote, get it done, and you won't have to be stressed out on election day unless you just are stressed out over the results.
I see it as an experience, and I love the idea that you have the 3 days earlier for the folks who maybe have social anxiety. I don't know. It's a long line. It's a lot of people. There's a lot of reasons for it. But for me, standing in the line with some people I know, some people I don't, it's part of the experience of the process and getting my sticker.
It's one of the reasons why our poll workers have stuck around with us for so long. We have poll workers who have been doing this for many, many years. And the process for them has changed over the years. They go through training. They're required every year to do 2 years.
It has changed from the little fill in the oval.
Well, if you can remember the big Shooptronic machines, we used to have to roll out, not me, I wasn't county clerk back, but when Mr. Tabb was clerk, they were 750-pound machines that were rolled into every precinct.
And intimidating for an 18-year-old voting for the first time.
And it was a very, very different process.
Yes.
But our poll workers are so key. They love greeting their neighbors. Now, we tell them not to be chit-chatty because the lines are going to be long.
Right.
So if they're not chit-chatty with you, if they just greet you with a smile and hand you your ballot, that's why they're trying to get through that line as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
But it's a great day to see so many people from across the county. I love it on election day.
So obviously in Hardin County, there's the 2 hubs, E-Town and Radcliffe. Is that where all of the machines are, or do you have some in outlying areas?
We are. So we're everywhere from Big Clifty. We've got Glendale Christian Church has joined us as a new polling, has rejoined us as a polling location. They used to be one when we did precincts. So we've tried to make it as convenient as possible. If people want to visit the clerk's website at HCEC-TV.org and they org to go vote.ky.gov, they can find their polling location. They can find out which one's closest to them. We say make a plan, bring a friend, and vote. So make a plan, research your ballot, figure out where you're going to vote on election day. And the great thing about this is, for example, North Hardin High School is always one of our busiest locations. If you pull into the parking lot and you go, I don't know, that may be too long a line. We've got Colvin Community Center right down the street. It's also a polling location.
Right.
So we're trying to make it convenient for folks. One thing that we will tell you, we have stopped using Pritchard Community Center as a polling location.
I'm glad you said that because that's always been like a prime spot.
It is, and Pritchard Community Center is such a great resource for our community, but with one entrance, it just is unsafe for 5,000 people going
Sure.
in and out. And that's how many we'll expect at our largest locations, about
Wow,
5,000 people
okay.
on one day. And so in partnership with the city, we just kind of chosen some other locations. But if you normally vote there, you can come to the clerk's office. You can come to Elizabethtown High School. We've added E-Town High School as a replacement for
Great.
Pritchard Community Center. E-Town High School is great because you can enter from both Mulberry Street and also Miles, North Miles.
Yes.
North Miles, so you can enter and exit either way.
Great.
So if you prefer to go out on North Mulberry, or if you love a roundabout and want to enter, want to exit through.
Lord, we're not going there.
On that side.
Right. I personally don't have a problem with the roundabouts, but so many people do. Yeah.
You know, just while we're discussing elections, we might as well throw
Right.
something
Oh, just
controversial.
throw it all those hot buttons out. Yeah.
But E-Town High School is really, we want to encourage really people to use that. I think we were underutilized in the primary there. People are just got to get used to voting there again.
Sure.
And so we'll be using their gym, so it's a huge location.
Sure.
We really want people to encourage people to kind of go there. The clerk's office is, of course, open as well. In every election since I've been clerk, the clerk's office has voted more people than every place else. But that parking lot in that building, we're not designed for it.
Sure.
So we're accommodating those folks, but E-Town High School is really, I want to push some of those folks there because the wait is actually shorter.
And plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking, plenty of
Right.
accessible parking as well.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure everybody gets their chance. But there is going to be a little bit of a wait, and
Just know
generally
it.
that has to do with the long
Or
ballot.
vote early if that's a concern.
Vote early is a great way to do it. You never know. Look, we've all had that moment in our life when we woke up and we weren't feeling good the next day. If you've banked your vote, you don't have to worry about waking up sick the next day and
Very smart.
missing election day.
Right. Yeah, we don't want to do that, especially as I season. I find that these things are more and more important to me.
Absolutely.
So-
I know. We see that.
But you all are doing a great job of planting those seeds, starting really, really young. And
We
that's
have
exciting.
just this election season been in elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools
Great.
to make sure that the high school kids who are eligible to register to vote, but everybody knows the process.
Heck yeah. Yeah, we do now
That's
because of internet, because of you, because of your wonderful team. We're out of time.
All right. Well, it's been great chatting with
crazy.
you.
Absolutely. I always enjoy talking to you, Brian. So throw those dates out one more time, the election dates.
So early voting is October 31st, November 1st, and November 2nd, and then general election is November 5th.
Okay, and the website?
I'm going to send everybody to govote.ky.gov.
Perfect.
That has everything in it. You're also welcome to visit our website. We have it duplicated there. But that govote.ky.gov is universal. You can confirm your registration. You can find out all the polling locations and dates and times and everything.
I love a one-stop shop.
Yep.
Great. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Enjoy your Super Bowl.
Appreciate it.
I'm Melanie. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.